It has been a very interesting few days. If you've seen my TGIF cat video, thankfully Lily has returned to us, so she's been getting lots of visits. Our basement also got flooded thanks to the quick thaw and then a lot of rain. My husband's been busy pulling up the floor and taking lots of pictures because we still have to wait for the insurance adjuster to come and let us know whether any of that replacement's going to be covered, because we're going to have to replace the floor and a wall in the room. A short while after all of that, it thankfully stopped raining on Friday morning, and I had a chance to look out the back door and notice this amazing rainbow. So, even in the midst of all of that other stuff going on in the basement, here was this gorgeous rainbow that was huge. So, that was certainly a wonderful gift, and I guess the next little while will show whether it was a sign to just stay calm and keep looking on the bright side of things. On Saturday, we started off at the library as I was going to see if any of my holds had arrived yet. It's a good thing that I did stop in because I found out there's obviously still some glitches with the system getting back up, and the 4 books that I thought were on hold had somehow been canceled. So I'm very glad that I was chatting with the librarian, who was super sweet and helpful. So all those books are now back on hold, and I'll just have to wait for a few days for them to arrive in the library to notify me. But while I was there, I went in to look for the holds, but also to pick up. They're already here. This is by Sarah Scholes. And I had read this book before, but now as I'm getting back into pulling my information together, I borrowed the book again so that this time I can go through and make more detailed notes and start connecting that back now to the Brief Guide to the Supernatural book, which I'm almost finished. After I found this book, in the same section, I also found Encounter in Rendlesham Forest. And I remember hearing about this story, and I've come across other bits of information about this. This particular book is by Nick Pope with John Burroughs and Jim Penniston, the 2 military men who had seen the craft and where everything kind of started going from, and all the other events that occurred afterwards. I'm just a few pages in, and so far it's a very fascinating read. This particular book is from 2014, so 10 years ago. There'll be new information about it, so I'll have to do a little more searching to get where the story has developed since. I did just read Nick Pope's The Uninvited a few months ago, and that book is about abductees. They're Already Here is from 2020, so the information will be a little more current, but of course now with the hearings by the US Congress and other things happening in the media, there's obviously different information coming out. The other find was UFOs, God's Chariots, Spirituality, Ancient Aliens, and Religious Yearnings in the Age of Extraterrestrials. This is by Ted Peters. I'm curious to see where this particular book will go. The back says, "Are UFOs celestial saviors coming to save Earth from self-destruction? Are UFOnauts advancing human evolution by creating hybrid children? Is it time for a new astrotheology that enshrines the UFO phenomena at the same level as the space sciences at NASA and SETI? UFOs, God Chariots, uncovers and exposes the clandestine spiritual dimensions within the UFO phenomena. UFOs vibrate with transcendence, omniscience, perfection, and redemption, delves deeply into government conspiracies, analyzes the newest models of close encounter interpretation, and reveals the results of the Peters ETI Religious Crisis Survey, in which self-identified believers were asked if making contact with an intelligent extraterrestrial civilization would undermine our historic religious traditions. Virtually all of them said no. Very curious about what this is going to reveal and the information. This is by New Page Books, a publisher that I've had a number of books from. And this is also from 2014, so 10 years ago. It will be an interesting read. I'm really glad that I popped by the library. The other one that I picked up is The Crystal Workshop, and this is by Azalea Lee. I love the photo on the front here. A journey into the healing power of crystals. I'm very much looking forward at seeing what's here. Some beautiful photos. So even though my holds didn't arrive, I definitely found some great reads that I'm looking forward to getting into. I also decided that it was time to just pop by my local thrift store because I thought I might be able to find some of the books I was considering reading for the 24 in 2024 banned book list. As I walked in, my local thrift store always has a cart of last chance books, and those are marked down to 99 cents. I was very surprised to see this on that cart. This is, and I hope I say it right, the Mabinogion. I may have pronounced that wrong, but I certainly know, as I've been reading about Celtic mythology and folklore for quite some time, this is a title that has come up quite often, and I've never had a copy of it. I'm looking forward to this, and I ended up having an amazing conversation with the cashier as I was checking out all my books. She mentioned that she also has a copy of this. It's an enjoyable read, but trying to figure out the definitions can be challenging. This translation of the complete Mabinogion presents in modern English 11 Welsh stories that are among the finest flowerings of the Celtic genus and taken together a masterpiece of medieval European literature. The pronunciations, of course, will be in Welsh. As I mentioned to the cashier as we were chatting, I had a book at home that has the pronunciations, which will make it a bit easier. As we were chatting, I couldn't remember what the book was, but I did remember it last night. Years ago, I picked up Celtic Lore and Spellcraft of the Dark Goddess, Invoking the Morrigan, and this is by Stephanie Woodfield. And no, I don't do dark magic. No, I'm not invoking a dark goddess. I just enjoy ancient mythology and folklore, and I knew this would be a great read to learn about the Morrigan. I'm very glad that I picked up this book because in the back she has a pronunciation key. So not only did it help with reading this particular book, but now it will also help me with the Welsh legends. Another find, and I had a great time at the thrift store, and I'm super happy that all of that came to a total of 15 Canadian dollars, which is a great deal for 7 books new to me. I also found The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, and that is one of the books I plan to read for the banned books this year in 2024. Keeping with the UFO extraterrestrial themes, I found another book by Eric von Daniken, and this is Gods from Outer Space. I'll enjoy reading that because I've just read his Chariots of the Gods a few months ago. Now I can do a comparison between these two, as well as the information that I'll be getting from the other UFO books that I've found and the other from my own library reads that I've done. I also found The Matter of Whales. This is by Jan Morris, Epic Views of a Small Country. This particular book talks about the Welsh resistance led an unsuccessful rebellion against the English. That event is at the heart of this magnificent celebration of Wales and all things Welsh. The rich literature and folklore, the buildings and hauntingly rugged scenery, the national character and humor, the historical destiny and future of a small but extraordinary country. I'm looking forward to this particular read because, yes, JP and Dan, I'm very much interested in learning about Wales, and on Dan's channel, The World of Mr. Gray, I love when he goes out into the countryside and we get to see that amazing scenery, the mountains, the forests. It's just breathtaking. Next, I found Shipwrecks and Legends Round Cape May. This is by David J. Siebold and Charles J. Adams III. It includes stirring tales of pirates, buried treasure, rum runners, war action, plus 20 pages of photos. So as I enjoy reading about different things like that, certainly the ghost ships, I thought this would be an interesting read. I picked this particular book up because of the author. Adaine McCoy is another pagan author who I enjoy. I have her Celtic Myth and Magic book. Very much enjoyed that as it goes through, again, the ancient folklore and the myths. She has an extensive list of the gods and goddesses. I very much enjoyed her work. So I thought this would be a great book to add to my collection. This is Making Magic, What It Is, and How It Works. I also, and this has come up in a book that I've read, as well as discussions with other people, she has a K at the end of the word magic. I tend to do that as well because, as some of us believe, it's one way to differentiate between the magic that people do to enhance and improve their lives and the world in general versus the magic that a magician would do, which is sleight of hand trickery, which is why I really like that this has a K at the end. The last book that I picked up during my little jaunt yesterday is Patricia Cornwell's The Scarpetti Collection. This is volume 1. I'm looking forward to this read, and this is an author that I found out about on Beyond Books. So thank you, Renee. I'll also leave a link to her channel down below, and I do highly recommend that you check her out. She does great book reviews and summaries. She doesn't give spoilers, and she includes some of her other hobbies as well. It's a channel I very much enjoy following. Those were my now more books to read. And again, this is why I don't have a set TBR. I just have one massive list that keeps growing because, like I said, when I went to the library, I was just going to pick up one book on UFOs, and I ended up with three that I'm very much looking forward to reading. I found the book on crystals, so I'm looking forward to getting to that. I also had another amazing find at the thrift store because as I was chatting with the cashier and we were talking about different authors and a variety of things, I don't typically mention my YouTube channel to people when I'm out and about, but I just happened to say that I have a channel and of course I talk about books. I mentioned the name of my channel, Cobalt Dragon, and explain that the name has to do with I love the color cobalt and I love dragons. Why am I sharing that? Because as you can see from this beautifully done picture, as we were talking, she pointed over to the picture and said, "There's a blue dragon right there." So, of course, for $5, that dragon definitely had to come home with me. It was very cool because, of course, for those who follow such things, we're coming up to the year of the dragon. Yes, I am one. It isn't just in my name. And this morning, as I was looking in, what do I find but postcards with, of course, a dragon. Definitely getting set up for the year to celebrate. I also, of course, have my dragon incense. So I'm very much looking forward to a great year and some wonderful things unfolding. So far, 2024 has definitely been on the upward swing. Yes, the issue with the basement was, not spectacular, but there have also been a number of wonderful things that have flowed from that. No pun intended. Let me know if you've read any of the titles that I've mentioned. I'm looking forward, as I say, to getting into reading. Of course, I have to pace that out now with pulling together my research and information because I'm very much wanting to get to making a Hoax or Holy Grail video and do a live stream. But before I do that, I want to be sure that I have my information gathered together, a list of the resources that I'm using, because although they're not going to be hours long, which some of these topics certainly could be, but I do want to make sure that I'm presenting both sides of the topics that I cover. And then hopefully, if viewers are interested in those topics, they'll continue doing some searching or let me know in the comments below the videos if they have other sources or more up-to-date information. If you're still with me, thank you so much. I appreciate your time as always. If you found this video to be of benefit or enjoyable, please be sure to give that like button a little tickle. If you haven't already subscribed and you enjoy bookish content, nature videos, and silly cat videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you know when I upload content that may be of interest to you. Until next time, be sure to take good care of yourself and we'll chat soon.